Welcome everyone to Clifton Family Church, our new 9 o'clock service. And we're going to start off as always with a lively song. This is a nice, very upbeat, very hopeful, forward-looking song called All the Lands That I've Loved. Please stand up and join it. We have, as you see, we have no drummer today, so if you want to clap along, I'd be really grateful, to build up the energy here. That's it. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. I have been wandering all over this world, looking for something I just couldn't find. Seems like I'm moving in search of myself. Where will I find my peace of mind? All the lands that I've loved, all the seas that I've sailed, miles and years roll by me. It's been such a lonely trail. Finally a welcome felt deep in my soul. I know I will find it in this city of gold. People so friendly, I know I will meet. My heart's pouring open, please take it for keeps. All the lands that I've loved, all the seas that I've sailed, can't compare to you now. My heart is in your hands. Our love's creating a world full of hope. Races are glowing in the fresh morning sun. Children are dancing, all races are one. Father is laughing, our new life's begun. All the lands that I've loved, all the seas that I've sailed, can't compare to you now. My heart is into your love. One more time. All the lands that I've loved, all the seas that I've sailed, are fulfilled in this moment. We've come home to your love. Thank you. Thank you for all your harmonies. I could hear nice harmonies going on just now. Very nice. Okay, another one to warm up. Not that it's that cold today, but it's always good to get a little warmer, right? This is Day of Glory. 1, 2, 3, 4. Through silent darkness comes His constant clearest voice. His words of truth and life wake us up from sleep. Glory, oh glory, oh glorious Lord. Welcome, oh welcome, oh welcome in now. Giving all you have and join with our God.
One with our God, sharing love and beauty
evermore. For now the day all men desire, day of celebration is at hand. Sunrise and morning comes, we rise up in its light.
spread
Forth the word of good, giving all your strength. Glory, oh glory, glorious Lord. Welcome, oh welcome, oh welcome. In now giving all you have and join with our Lord, one with our God.
Sharing love and beauty evermore.
For now the day all men desire, day of celebration is at hand. All holy children come.
New days have dawned at last. March forward, one and all.
Quickly now unite. Glory, oh glory, oh glorious Lord. Welcome, oh welcome, oh welcome. In now giving all you have and join with our Lord, one with our God, sharing love and beauty evermore. For now the day all men desire, day of celebration is at hand. Glory, 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 oh glory, oh glorious Lord. Welcome, oh welcome, oh welcome. In now giving all you have and join with our Lord, one with our God, sharing love and beauty evermore. For now the day all men desire, day of celebration is at hand. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. Oh, Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, be understood as to understand,
To be loved
loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, ever joy. Oh, Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, be understood as to understand, to be loved and to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned.
In giving all to men that we receive.
And in dying that we're born to eternal life. Oh, Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. in pardoning that we are pardoned, in giving and that we receive, and in dying that we're born to eternal life.
Please join me in prayer. Good morning, beloved Heavenly Parent. Good morning, true parents. We are so grateful to be here at this 15th of May, 2022. Thank you for all your blessings. Thank you for all your grace, for all your protection and guidance in our lives. Thank you that we can come here today to hear your word, to praise you, to worship you, to glorify you, God. As the song said, really, when you are close to us, then Heavenly Parent, everything has meaning, everything has purpose, everything has really deep mission as well. Heavenly Parent, we thank you and we pray that we can be united in heart. Heavenly Parent, 2,000 years ago, Jesus said, if only 2 or 3 are gathered in thy name, then you will pour out your Holy Spirit. And how many are here, God? Count us all in. We are here because we want to be here. Not because it's a duty, it's an obligation, or because just at this time we have nothing else to do. But God, we want to be here because we want to be shining in your light. We know that you need us to build this kingdom. You want everyone to be in here. God, you want everyone to belong. You want everyone to be validated. Every one of your children who are still in the darkness, who are maybe in despair, as the song said. Maybe they are, Heavenly Parent, not knowing their life and purpose and are just really desperate to have a hand, a helping hand that can hold them and reach them and give them hope. Oh God, I pray we can be those instruments of peace and instruments of love, most of all. Oh God, I pray for all those who couldn't make it today in this community, that maybe are doubtful or maybe that still need a little encouragement, a little really a brother or sister that needs to call them or needs to encourage them. Please, Heavenly Parent, I pray you can accept this offering, that it's not just happening in this church building, but it can really have a ripple effect in this community of Clifton. You have given this anointing. Heavenly Parent, we are unworthy of it. We know we are a very humble and meek beginning here, but we are wanting to look ahead and we want to embrace that hope and that faith and that absolute conviction that you have even in us when we doubt ourselves. God, we open the door for you to come into our hearts, to come into our soul, to come into our mind. As we start this new week, we want to do better than last week. We want to invite you sincerely to be here and speak to us, touch us, so we can touch others that we love, that we care for, that we need to really connect with. I report all this in gratitude with all my brothers and sisters gathered here, and in my name, Monica Lois of a Blessed Center family, Achu. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Nice to see you. Yes, you're all here today because you want to be here, right? 9 a.m. I commend you. The early bird catches the worm. So you are the ones that are blessed today. So please greet each other as we are happy to see each other, right? Okay, brothers and sisters, we thank the Bergen community for volunteering this week. It's Bergen 1 that's volunteering. Thank you very much. And next week will be Bergen 2 that volunteer. And we have a delicious cake in front of us. So if you were born in May, please come to the front. We want to celebrate you. Don't be shy.
You guys. Ready? 1, 2, 3, blow! Alright, happy birthday. One more time, everyone. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Everybody, happy birthday. Okay, you may be seated.
Happy birthday. Yeah, brothers and sisters who were born in May, including my husband was born in May. Okay, but he got his cake already at home, so no worries. This week we are doing something a little bit different. We are including a living testimony now as part of our Sunday service, right? You all want to become alive, brothers and sisters, don't you? Okay, including me, I want to be more alive than I am. So we want to hear how God is working in someone's life, right? And today we are inviting Shogo Nakaza, the director of CARP, who will tell us an experience that he had and share that with us. And he was recently blessed in marriage. And okay, so all right. I know CARP is always very, very busy. They are very, very active. The students, they hardly sleep, I can tell you that. So we are waiting. We are waiting. We're moving on. Okay, brothers and sisters, we're moving on. We'll keep that on hold for a minute. And next one, we'll have another offering song. The title is, When Will I Ever Learn to Live in God? It's beautiful lyrics, right? So let's welcome the band, the mini band today. Okay, read it.
So, as my wife said, this is a very, very nice lyrics. It's really like a poem set to music, and it's by Van Morrison. He's an Irish, very famous actually, Irish singer-songwriter. You know, been writing songs since the 60s. Sorry, I feel I have a bit of a small colony of frogs in my throat right now, so please bear with me. I'll do my best. So please follow the lyrics, because it's a very devotional song and a very sort of appreciative of God's creation. The sun was setting over Avalon. The last time we stood in the west, suffering long time angels enraptured by plague, burn out the dross, innocence captured again. standing on the beach at sunset. All the boats keep moving slow in the glory of the flashing light, in the evening's glow. When will I ever learn to live in God? When will I ever learn? He gives me everything I need and more. When will I ever learn? You brought it to my attention that everything was made in God. Down through centuries of great writings and paintings, everything was in God. Seen through architecture of great cathedrals, down through the history of time, is and was in the beginning, and evermore shall ever be. When will I ever learn to live in God? When will I ever learn? He gives me everything I need and more. When will I ever learn? Whatever it takes to fulfill his mission, that is the way we must go. But you gotta do it in your own way. Tear down the old, bring up the new. And up on the hillside it's quiet, where the shepherd is tending his sheep. And over the mountains and the valleys, and the countryside is so green. Standing on the highest hill with a sense of wonder, you can see everything was made in God. Head back down to the roadside and give thanks for it all. When will I ever learn to live in God? When will I ever learn? He gives me everything I need and more. When will I ever learn? When will I ever learn to live in God? When will I ever learn? He gives me everything I need and more. When will I ever learn?
I hope we will learn sooner than later, right? Okay, now, without further ado, I'd like to welcome our New Jersey Carp Director, Shogun Alcázar, who got recently blessed in marriage, and he will give a living testimony of God. Please welcome him.
Sorry, everyone. I was preparing for a 10 a.m. service, and I realized too late that it was 9 a.m. But yeah, good morning, everyone. Good morning. And so, I wanted to share a brief testimony about kind of the matching and blessing process and my experience through that. And so, there was a lot of background before that, but to keep it concise, after GPA, I got to the point where I've decided, okay, I want my parents to match me. And it's kind of a long journey to get there, but for myself, I felt I wanted my parents to be a part of such a key part in the decision in my life. I didn't want to just choose by myself and just tell my parents, this is who I want. I wanted them to be a very close part of that. And so we started the process of discussing and praying together and trying to find out, okay, who are the candidates? But actually, it was a very big struggle. And so for my parents, they had no idea where to start. And so 1 week would go by, 2 weeks, 1 month would go by, 2 months would go by, and there was zero progress for many months. And so, also at that time, like, I was praying, and like in my heart, I felt actually like my ideal would be for a true mother to match me directly, but in my heart, I was like, oh, true mother doesn't do that anymore. And so it was kind of like this feeling of, oh, it'd be nice, but it doesn't happen anymore. And so, but one of the leaders told me, you should just still pray for that. You never know what can happen. And so kind of in like a corner of my heart, I was like, oh, maybe during a rally, true mother might walk by and suddenly, you, Japanese boy, come here, like, you over there. Just do like a sudden matching on stages. I was like, okay, maybe. We never know. So I prayed for that. And then lo and behold, a year down the line, we had a representative from True Mother, who's here today, Dr. Yong, come to America. And so very early on in his time in America, he like, you, come to breakfast. I was like, okay. And then the 3 classic questions of what's your name, how old are you, and are you blessed yet came. And so I was like, oh, should I go 23 at the time, and no, I'm not blessed yet. So he said, okay, send me your profile. And so I was so, in America, we don't really have that kind of tradition or practice of leaders matching people. So I was really taken aback, and I was like, are you allowed to do that? Like, I was really confused, but I prayed about it, and I just said, okay, actually, this is True Mother's representative, and I feel like this is an answer to my prayer. So I started from that determination of this is True Mother, this is God's answer to my prayer. And so we start the process, and 6 months in, as Dr. Yong knows, I started really having challenges and doubts, where I started with this really clear determination of, okay, this is True Mother, or this is God's answer to me. This is True Mother's representative. But even despite that, and even being in CARP and witnessing and doing a lot of public work and being very faithful, it was still very challenging to be hit with the reality of this is my eternal partner, and is this something that I can really have faith in? And I really saw inside of myself what little faith I had. It's like for such an important decision, it was really challenging for me to really believe and trust that God can work. There was a part of me that was afraid. What if it doesn't work out? What if it's not the right person? What if I'm not ready yet? What if they're not ready yet? And so there was a lot of fears that came forward, but at the end, through guidance from different leaders and from Dr. Yong and Mrs. Yong, I really came to the point where I realized, again, like, I believe in God. I believe that there's a real God that exists and lives, and I also have absolute conviction that He won't let me go through an experience that He doesn't plan for me to go through. And so I can trust this experience, and if I have a sincere heart, and if I'm really praying, and if I'm uniting with my able figure, then regardless of the result, God will work through that experience in some kind of way and guide me through it. And so it's kind of this really, and I trusted that God, seeing Dr. Yong, I was so moved by his spirit and his morning devotion, like his unity with True Mother and his understanding of God's words. And I was like, yeah, I can trust that God can work through this man. And so that really helped me kind of dig a lot deeper inside of what actually is the commitment that I'm making in the blessing. Is it, yes, I like this person, they like me, I think we can make a good relationship, or is it really, God is present and alive in this relationship, and we can make a family and a couple centered on God. And so with that kind of commitment, once I made that commitment, that completely transformed my experience in the matching. And then it became less of, oh, it's kind of, we have differences in relationship, or oh, like I'm not sure about her faith, like is she really ready for a missionary lifestyle? But it really became praying and asking God just continuously, like, is this the person? Is this the person? God, I trust you. If it's not, then please tell me it's not. But if it is, then really guide me forward. And so throughout that whole process, again, I was guided to a point where I could really feel, okay, God is working in this. And so then fast forward a few months, and finally I went to the blessing. And actually, I'm sure everyone can relate, or many of the first generation, or the second generation who are blessed, but the blessing ceremony, there's the ceremony itself, but before that, there's a whole craziness of preparation, and you basically don't sleep the night before. And so during the ceremony, it was kind of like, I was there, but it was also like exhausted and tired and trying to like connect to something, right? And it was kind of like, I wasn't feeling so much during the ceremony initially. But when True Mother walked onto stage, there was two things. One, the song Komapso, which means thank you in Korean. And then listening to that song really deeply moved my heart, and I was feeling like, okay, I know my shortcomings. I know that I fall short, but I'm standing here receiving the blessing because this is God's grace. It just felt deep, like thank you. Like how much did your parents sacrifice for me to be able to receive the blessing in my current state right now? Thank you. And I felt really deeply grateful. And that was kind of like the start of my shift from barely staying awake during the blessing to actually having a meaningful, profound impact. And when True Mother walked onto the stage, it was kind of that like multiplied 10 times more. It was just like seeing Mother on stage, and I felt like so deeply like, Mother, thank you so much. And then like the commitment that we were making, anyways, initially like the blessing ring, was just like, okay, it's the ring. And yes, it's important. But I think during that moment, like when we were giving each other, like putting the ring on each other's hands, it was, okay, I'm making a commitment before God, True Parents, and my wife, Edina. And every day that's gone by since then, I wear the ring, and every time I look at it, I remind myself of that commitment. And I feel like every day since the blessing, my understanding of that blessing is growing deeper and deeper. And frankly, conceptually, I understand, like, maybe not even fully, but to some extent, conceptually, I understand, yeah, what a God-centered family is, da-da-da-da, and all these internal guidances about living centered on God. But in reality, I have no idea how to practice that. And sometimes that scares me a little bit or makes me nervous. Like, yeah, am I doing this the right way? Am I approaching our relationship with the right heart? But I'm also increasingly more and more excited to find out how I can create that kind of family that's centered on God. Discovering that whole process, realize, okay, I don't know everything, and that's okay. There's people that can guide me. God is in my life. I can figure out how to create a beautiful family centered on Him, bit by bit. And so, yeah. And I guess something like still, not as much anymore, but the initial biggest shock after the blessing, of course, it was everything happening. It was really amazing. But like the biggest shock that I felt was I was praying for dinner like a day or two after the blessing. I was like, okay, I pray this in my name, Shogun Akaza-san, and I paused and I was like, wait, I can't end in the same ending of a prayer. And so I can't pray in my name. There's some of this, but actually I am a blessed central family now. And there was a complete paradigm shift. I'm praying in our name, Shogun Akaza and Eddie and Allah, as part of blessed central family, or blessed central couple. And so it's kind of like this. Again, even the way I pray, even the way I think, every single moment, the way I make decisions has to shift. And that's still a shift that I'm making day by day and trying to, anyways, we call every day and that helps, but it's like the shift that I'm trying to make internally to really go from single person to couple. It doesn't happen. I realize it doesn't happen naturally. I have to make that effort every day to make that choice, to change my thinking. So anyways, it's a journey. I'm learning a lot through it, but I'm really excited for the future to come. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Shoko. Doesn't he look even more handsome with that sparkling ring on his hand, right? And yeah, I really like that you said you were praying all along, right? It wasn't just one moment in your life that changed you, but you were praying. You got God's confirmation. You got your own conviction in this process, and that builds, and that's the hope to have lasting families. And I think for any church and any community, it's very hard to pass on our faith, right, to our youth. That's the struggle of any community all over the world. And really, this is the greatest desire of first generation, to be able to pass on the holy sacrament of the blessing, which is a sacrament in our community, so that everybody can really embrace that. So thank you so much for that testimony. We look forward to many more young people in the audience, right, to come up soon, that you can also give the testimony of your matching process and a blessing, hopefully. And now, as a parent, it's very easy to say, do as I do, right? I find myself say that all the time. And how much harder is it to say, do as I do? And I feel Dr. Yong is really living by that motto. I bet when you were asleep and I was asleep last night, he was already up before the sun rose. He gave his he made his devotions, and then at 6 a.m., we joined him for morning devotion, some of us here, right, for 1.5 hours. And now again, he's here. As soon as he's finished, he will go to Halden and give a sermon in Korean to the Korean community. So I really respect him dearly for the devotion that he's exuding every day, pouring out of his heart. And he, in my mind, he's like speaking devotion, he's walking devotion, he's living devotion most of all. So please let's welcome Dr. Jeongseong, our senior pastor.
Hello, my beloved brothers and sisters. Good morning. 안녕하십니까? Are you happy today? Yes. I am also very happy to meet my dear brothers and sisters. Last week, I came to Clifton Church more often, and meeting each one of the staff and also departmental leaders. You know, I get to know the structure of the Clifton Church and how to manage. I need to learn first. So now I'm gradually can adjust, and then we're going to have a clear plan with our national president, now Kimi. I feel very much hopeful, and I really especially want to creating the witnessing team as well. So I think our Dr. Noah now is helping me. I want to mobilize the Noah and Abraham and Jacob and all the central figures, and then to help our Clifton Church. Anyway, through Mother's great commission is what? Create a church that show others. So the True Mother told me to select one church and create model church that shows others. Therefore, what I want to think about at this time today is that in order to become model church that show others, the first thing to do is to become church alive with prayer and Jeongseong. Here, the word Jeongseong means utmost sincerity and devotion in Korean. So whenever I say Jeongseong means, you need to understand Jeongseong means utmost sincerity and devotion. The inner slogan of our Father and Mother Moon, the founders of the unification movement, is utmost sincerity moves heaven. This word is really touched me so much. And when I visit to Hannam-dong, at the time Father, he stayed in Hannam-dong before about building up the Cheonjong. Our true parents stay in Hannam-dong. So we go there very often to attend morning fundoke, sometimes a Sunday service. And then one day, Father came to fundok room, and then Father was quite upset Who take down the my internal slogan? Father normally put, there is I saw all the time Korean word Jeongseong. He loves that word, Jeongseong. It means utmost sincerity moves heaven. That was the Father's one of the greatest his internal slogan. Whenever he look at that slogan, he always reflect on that. Only how can move heaven? Through utmost sincerity. I love that. So I'm talking about Jeongseong means utmost sincerity, not just only prayer, not just only doing fasting condition, not you are doing some kind of the external condition. Jeongseong means really putting all your heart and mind and soul, putting everything, we call it, that is Jeongseong. So the message I want to convey to you today is be a model church of prayer and Jeongseong. So first of all, let's read Father Moon's word. And he said that God's Jeongseong to save fallen humankind. To save fallen human being who became Satan's servant of the servants into God's servant of servants. God's Jeongseong needs to exceed that of any sovereign or subject in Satan's world. Otherwise, God can't save anybody. That is because Satan will accuse saying, God who created heaven and earth, you need to stand in front of humankind with the best standard. You need to set conditions more than I do. If you save someone with your Jeongseong, which is less than my Jeongseong, that redemption, that salvation cannot be perfected. It is surprising word that if God's Jeongseong is lacking more than any saints or sage or any patriot in the world historically, that not even a single person can be saved. Wow. According to Father Moon, Satan is also constantly offering Jeongseong to expand his power as well. I'm so surprised to hear that. Even Satan's putting his maximum Jeongseong in order to expand his sovereignty continuously, in order to handle, to control fallen man, because he wants to keep his sovereignty continuously. Even Satan putting his own Jeongseong. From this point of view, we learn the surprising fact that even though God is omniscient and omnipotent, if his effort and Jeongseong to save humankind are insufficient, not even a single person can be saved. Looking at this, we cannot do anything without Jeongseong. Wow. It is amazing. Why do we believe that? Why do we believe that? We are child of God. God is our eternal parent. He is the parent of parents. That's why his love much, much greater than anything else. Since Adam and Eve fell, to save each one of the human being, each one of his child, how much God putting his effort and Jeongseong in order to save each one of his child. That's why God is a champion of Jeongseong. We need to know that. Many religious leaders, even Christianity, they believe that, God is Almighty God, omniscient God, and omnipotent God. Whatever He wants, you can do anything. But they do not understand God is a parent. God has a heart and emotion and love. That's why as a parent need to put his Jeongseong more than anyone else. It's an important point. The standard which determines the history of salvation is Jeongseong. Centered on what is the history of salvation determined? It is determined centered on standard of Jeongseong. Only when heaven's Jeongseong surpasses Satan's Jeongseong can society in the world of death be absorbed into God's Jeongseong. In other words, greater Jeongseong can absorb smaller Jeongseong. The original mind of humankind desire greater Jeongseong. The standard which determines the history of the salvation is not great faith, not great vision, not spreading the word, not any strength. The only standard which determines the history of salvation is Jeongseong. Wow. It is really incredible. Jeongseong. Almost sincerity and devotion. So who is the center of this Clifton church? Who is the center of this country? Who is the center of this world? The person who gives more Jeongseong is said to be center and master. Father Moon said that greater Jeongseong observes smaller Jeongseong. In the end, the person who gives greater Jeongseong becomes a center and the winner. Recently, I watched one of the mega church leader in Korea. He got an incredible revelation recently. His mega church, he ran the mega church. His membership is nearly 100,000 people. When he started his church, very, very, very small level, can take care of the child, baby. Take care of baby well. And the mega church, he take care. His church really become the mega church, And then this guy recently said, time is over. Time is over to run such bigger church. I think maximum just nearly about 10,000 people, okay. And then what he is doing, that he raised up the many leaders. And then he said that, I raised up, I think minimum 29 major leaders. Now, from now on, you need to go to your community to serve your community, to not come back to mega church anymore. And he divided his congregation 29 groups. And then you have to be independent. So mega church maximum 10,000 people, okay. You need to go and serve your community. Wow. I think his sermon is very much popular. And he testified that how he increased 100,000 membership. What is the top secret? And he giving the testimony. Here, before he become the pioneer of the church, he be to each one of the ministers and ask, what is your top secret to create beautiful church and great church? And someone say, the sermon is the most important. Someone say, no. Man is most important. No. That doesn't matter. Your own personality is very important. No. Some ministers say, management and relationship with brothers and sisters. This communication is very important. All different answers. He's struggling. What's the best way to do that? And then when he studied again the Bible, and he got an answer. Do you know what is the answer? That is Jeongseong. That is prayer. If my prayer is move heaven, God does everything. He said, normally I sleep at 8 p.m. Sleep very early. Wow, minister sleep very early. He wake up midnight, 12 o'clock. And from 12 o'clock to in the morning 6 o'clock. He say, I need to spend minimum 2 hours or sometimes 3 hours to pray and communicating with God. My devotion and my Jeongseong do not reach to heaven. I cannot move each one of our members. I do not know how to convey, how to deliver message to the people. And he kneeled down and prayed 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. When he started his pioneer mission, pray more than that. And once he came to the podium, when he delivered speech, and then Holy Spirit come down, God talked to him through his mouth. And many people to hear the good rumor, and the people start to come to church and increasing. And he tell to 29 pioneers, do you know what's the most important thing? You need to know how to communicate with God. You need to feel that God is a living God. Then, no worry, increasing membership, whatever. Wow, everybody, any church really develop so much. What's the secret? Secret is Jeongseong. It is said that not even a single life can be saved by doing it in moderation without Jeongseong. How can we make Clifton Church into a model church? How can we create a church where God directly comes to us? It can be done when we move the heart of God with our prayers and devotion. Even Jesus said, if you gather together, 2 or 3 people and pray together, I definitely listen to you. This is the power of the unity and Jeongseong. There are 2 or people together in my name and gather together and pray together and ask God whatever you want, God definitely reply to. This is the power of Jeongseong. If we put in our Jeongseong to move the spirit world, our ancestor and the heart of God, in the end, God is doing everything. Therefore, our great challenge is how we can move and impress God through our Jeongseong. Another father. How will God save a human being? He cannot do his work any old way. He needs to establish the standard which surpasses the standard by which a sovereign in any nation loves his or her subjects. Besides, in order for God to take a central figure out of the certain group and turn him into a person who is in charge of the providence of salvation and is the liberator of the human beings, God needs to invest his heart and soul more than anyone who invested their heart and soul into their group. It is said that not even a single life can be saved if you offer Jeongseong in moderation. Why is it that our new life campaign sometimes does not work? Why, even though I try to witness many people, why I cannot bear fruit? Answer is, still, Jeongseong is not enough. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Water does not boil at 97 or 99 degrees Celsius. When our Jeongseong reaches 100 degrees, the spiritual world and God have no choice but to appear and work. So our Clifton Church to become a church that shows others the Jeongseong and prayers of all our members should reach 100-degree Jeongseong. 아주? If our Jeongseong reach to 100 degree, then even God doesn't have any choice, need to come down and help us. There is a limitation. Human being power always limitation. That's why we need to completely rely on God, need to get the power from the spiritual world and from heavenly parents. So, when our Jeongseong reach 100 degrees, all the ancestors in the spiritual world will appear and witness. How did Father Moon witness to 12 people in Hungnam prison in an environment he could not tell anyone about? It was Father Moon's Jeongseong. Father Moon's Jeongseong moved God's heart, and together they moved the heart of the ancestors of the prisoners. North Korea Hungnam prison was a prison in an environment where not a single word could be said on the communist oversight. Father Moon loved the prisoners more than anyone else, shared his meals, and helped with their labors. He cannot talk to anyone. Then how can he witness 12 spiritual children? How he created 12 disciples? Only one way. Move the heart. Move ancestors. And the ancestors come down to their descendants. Hey, yesterday you got some food from your relative. Why don't you give to the Father Moon? Many kind of order. Wow. Jeongseong. Jeongseong has really incredible power. My brothers and sisters, it is important for model church to look and witness for people, but it has to become a church that people hear good rumors about and come to. If you move the throne of God with a lot of Jeongseong and prayer, people will flock to our church just like butterflies and bees and looking for the honey. So God, let's say God is really sitting down on the 1,000 stairs, the top of the, and stairs. And he overlooked all the people on the earth. His chairs, how his chairs are turning around. What's going on here? That much, if we really move God's heart, even God, no choice, need to pay attention, need to help. Do you know how true Father saved each one of us? Of course, divine principle is important. Of course, his relationship is important. But his first priority is Jeongseong. Jeongseong. We need to inherit. As a leader, if you really inherit Father's Jeongseong foundation, then already you inherit everything. But without communicating with God, without putting your Jeongseong, without moving God's heart, no matter how many hours you spend time to prepare the sermon, it does not work. Does not touch anyone's heart. This is the point, my brothers and sisters. Matthew 22, 36 to 38. Look at the following Bible verse. Teacher, what is the most important commandment in the law? Jesus answered, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. This is the first and most important commandment. How about then what is God's first commandment. That is God's Jeongseong. Love each one of the all mankind with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, with all my Jeongseong. This is the first and most important commandment to my beloved children. This is God's commandment to what human being, to what his own children. Because he is the parent of the parents. That's why he needs to put Jeongseong more than anyone else. Wow. Amazing. We do not know God is the champion of Jeongseong. We do not know. He is working so hard with putting his Jeongseong to save each one of us. Wow. God is a really amazing God. Another father's word. To save these people on earth, God needs to invest his heart and soul more than Satan does. If there are people who are loyal to their nation in Satan's world, God needs to stand in the position which can surpass their loyalties. Otherwise, people in Satan's world cannot be saved. In this manner, throughout history. The Jeongseong God gives is more than that of Satan. God offers Jeongseong that cannot be compared with the Jeongseong given by any other person who has come to earth so far. If there is a person who offers more Jeongseong than God, that person would accuse God. If anyone in history has offered more Jeongseong than true parents, they would accuse true parents. They would accuse saying, you come to this earth as the true parents, as the Messiah. How can you save all people if you offer less Jeongseong than me? Wow. That's why Father said, throughout human history, Father need to put Jeongseong more than Noah, more than Abraham, more than Jacob, more than Moses, more than Jesus. Father Jeongseong less than Jesus. Jesus said, you are second coming. You are second coming. Your Jeongseong less than me. How can you save people? That's why true parents means champion of Jeongseong. Champion of Jeongseong. Wow, really. Therefore, if Clifton Church lags behind any ancestor, and if they fall behind any other church in offering Jeongseong for God, this country we will get accusation. Because I am the continental director of the United States, if I do not offer more Jeongseong than any other continental director or leader in the past or any religious or political leader in the United States, the spiritual world will of course not help me. I know that. I know that. How can I become center of the United States, even though Mother appointed as a continental director to North America? What is my top priority as a leadership? Not giving morning devotion. Not just only take care of a member individually very well. My top priority is putting Jeongseong. And then even George Washington come down to me and bow down to me. Your Jeongseong greater than me. And Abraham Lincoln said, your Jeongseong greater than me. Many people do not know this top secret. Many people. You see Christian leader, how he ran the 100,000 congregation? He said, kneel down, pray. Without meeting God, I can't convey God's message. My mouth can have to be God's mouth. Let God talk through my mouth. Heavenly Father, I want to really create beautiful and model Clifton Church. What the first title should I give? And I pray about it, I think about it, and God told me, you already know. That is Jeongseong. You need to emphasize on and on, again and again and over the importance of Jeongseong. Human being power, there is a limitation to really influence the people, my brothers and sisters. Therefore, a leader should first of all become a champion of Jeongseong. One of the most important quality as a leader, that is Jeongseong. Jeongseong is the way to unite with God. Jeongseong is to really have intimate relationship with heavenly parents. So another father's word. That's why I am the most. Scared of the person who set the Jeongseong. Those who rule the whole country with lots of courage are nothing. I am scared of a person who makes heaven and earth obey and say yes when the person orders them. If you tie up God with the rope of the Jeongseong, God cannot but be bound completely. There is no heavenly law able to cut the rope of Jeongseong. That's why you who are in this process must of Jeongseong, even if you think that you started well, you need to start with Jeongseong at the outset. Therefore, Jeongseong is the first step of a leader and model church. We have to give Jeongseong that God cannot help but feel touched by. We should offer Jeongseong that spiritual world cannot help but mobilize. What is the ability of the leader? What is the ability of the church that shows others? It is the ability to mobilize the spiritual world. Do not think about whether it's humanly possible or not. If you offer Jeongseong, God is in control. God does everything. He said, I do not know how to handle 10,000, 100,000 congregation. But gradually, he said, one who do Jeongseong and God is give incredible wisdom. Those who are self-centered, just only worry what to eat, what to wear, what to drink, centering on my family, you cannot get the wisdom. However, you think for entire purpose. Ask God to help me with my empty heart. God is giving you incredible wisdom. That's why one who living for the sake of others, God incredibly provide wisdom, idea, revelation, inspiration, so many things. But you are self-centered, just only you think about your own sake, you cannot get idea, don't know where to go, my direction. And also, Father here talking about, if you sincerely offer morning prayer for your appointed area for 3 years, it will greatly rise. Now we are doing morning devotion, right? I really need to spend 6 hours to 7 hours. I need to wake up 2:30, sometimes recently 1:50 or 2 o'clock, something like that. At least a few hours, 1 hour, more than that. Sometimes I need to pray. Look at every morning, America map, 50 states. Who are there? I'm praying for. I said, God told me, no worry how to increase morning devotion number. Just only one way. Each up to your degree of Jeongseong can expand more congregation, more numbers. Each up to your degree of your Jeongseong, each up to your standard of your Jeongseong. Normally, taking care of the 100 congregation, they are all common point. They pray minimum 2 hours, 3 hours, in order to handle my family. As a mother, as a father, need to wake up early. Pray for each one of my kids and my family members for your, what's that, witnessing candidate. That's why here saying, if you morning devotion, that's also second common point, any church develop second point, they are carry on all the time morning devotion. I already know that. This first one, minister to Jeongseong. Secondly, morning devotion. So now, many people are joining morning devotion, and even my niece also told me that, hey, uncle, if I do not know that in German, so many brothers and sisters watching your morning devotion. Oh, even German. And then someone about England, some leader saying that, do you know, Dr. Yong, I did not watch it, seldom watch it, but my wife never miss even one day watching your morning devotion. Some African brothers and sisters say, thank you. Your name is morning devotion. Morning devotion. Some of them came, the South American, the leadership, they came, and then they were one table and sit down all together, and then they come to me and greet me. That, wow, your morning devotion is powerful. Thank you so much. Oh my God, all over the world. I want to not just only morning devotion. I want to physically, visibly creating, really try to reach through mother's expectation. She's just saying that need to showing church. Showing church. I really determined to do that. We do your brothers and sisters' help and devotion. So here, in terms of the getting up early in the morning and our offering morning prayer, and frankly speaking, it is hard for me too, laughter. It is not easy to get up at 3 a.m. and pray. Since today is the day of the old things, I got up 1 a.m. Since the spiritual world has expectation, I cannot help but pray. Even though I feel quite sleepy, I cannot help but pray, saying, I go. I need to pray because today is the day of the old things. It is difficult to pray in this way. When everybody else fall asleep, I pray. I must do it. I feel at ease. When I do, even though it is so difficult, unless I pray, I even feel kind of awkward to talk about this. As I have been leading a life of leader, if I wake up at 3 a.m. and conduct a morning fundoke without praying, my tongue does not work. I many times experienced. Without prayer and just joining morning devotion, to deliver message, my tongue does not work. Does not work. Wow. Father no need to pray. He's a man of perfection. But he said, he's a champion of Jeongseong. Champion of Jeongseong. I have to be champion of Jeongseong more than any other. then even Noah bowed down. Even Abraham bowed down. Even Abraham Lincoln bowed down. Even any saints can bow down. Then everybody moved by your Jeongseong. Even now, wake up in the morning and pray at least more than 1 hour ingrained in my body. The lack of the result in the field and many conflicts between the leader and members as between Cain and Abel is a phenomenon caused by lack of Jeongseong. Lack of Jeongseong, my brothers and sisters. I do the following Mother Moon's message and Father Moon. Before that, I'm going to talk about when I was an Oceania leader. I do not know. First time I become continental director, I'm so much nervous. And only I know what I do, only can Jeongseong. Since I became the missionary to Malaysia in 1991, I did 10 years morning fasting. 10 years. And then since I become continental director in Oceania, and then I bow down. I try 100 times, 200 times, 500 times. One day I challenge to do 3,000 times. I did 3,000 times, and then after that, immediately I collapse. And then I still have the back problem here. Anyway, this is good things to me. I know that Heavenly God, I cannot do anything by my own power. My intellect is a limitation. My heart is a limitation. Without you, it is impossible to go forward. What I'm talking about, the Mother's Jeongseong, Mother's Moon's message for Father Moon. Father, 1 year before your ascension, even though you were more than 90 years of age, you visited United States 8 times, refusing to care for your health. You invested yourself completely for the sake of the world and humanity. The word you said, Mother, once we finish this task and there is a little else to do, then let us take a short break. Never came through honors in the end. Father, you worked day and night. And since I lived my life in attendance to you, I did not sleep more than 3 hours a night throughout my life. Following your holy ascension, I came to Ponyangwon at dawn every day. There were countless excuses or reasons why I might have rested and not visited you. But whether it snowed abundantly in the winter or rained torrentially in the fall, I came to Ponyangwon each day in those early morning hours. For 40 days after you ascended, I offer you breakfast and dinner. When I missed you, which was on numerous occasions, I came to Ponyangwon and talked with you. Through these conversations, your thought became my thought, and my thought became yours. East to west, south to north, I ran with all my might. Seeking to embrace the world, my mouth was sore, my legs were swollen. I could barely stand, yet I could not rest. This was because, however difficult realizing the will may be, I had to keep the promise I had made to you that I would conquer everything within my lifetime. I lived each day reaffirming my resolve that I would fulfill this without fail, and that to do so, I shall not change. Every time I desperately missed you, I looked to the moon for companionship and spoke with it, reminding myself of the promise I had made to you as I stood before your holy body. I will firmly establish 천일국 by the time I ascend. That is Mother's Jeongseong. That is Mother Jeongseong. Yeah, almost time's up. So, my brothers and sisters, and then one more mother's slide. Father, you know, don't you? Following your ascension, I felt lost for words. In a position where I was the only one remaining. My heart felt as if I were in a vast desert in the midst of the sandstorm, having to find a needle yet unable to open my eyes. Nonetheless, I found it. I had to find. Where does Mother's power to love the whole world and mankind come from? Mother Moon's secret weapon is Jeongseong, utmost sincerity. Therefore, if you do not know the taste of the prayer and devotion, you cannot meet God. Moreover, your faith will never grow. The goal of the prayer and devotion is to know God is my parent. When we know that God is our parent, amazing works and miracles are beginning to happen. The individual grows, the church develops, and that life begins to return. This is Father's slogan. I am going to this way burdened with agony. How then can you expect to tread on this way without pouring first your most honest heart? My brothers and sisters, let me make the conclusion that, to get through this difficult war and then fight Satan and win, we need to offer Jeongseong. This is nothing I can do with my human strength. Therefore, there's nothing in this world that can overcome Jeongseong. No one can beat the one who gives Jeongseong and prayer. What should we do? First, to make a Clifton Church a model church. It is for all the family members to offer prayer and Jeongseong more than anyone else. 아주? So, the internal goal of the prayer and Jeongseong, create model church, to create model church that shows, number one, the model church of prayer and devotion. A church that is full of spirit and truth. The church that is full of faith and hope and world, love, 심정, and blessing. The church that shows God's presence and that people go to because they long for it. Came to church not by duty or responsibility. I come to church because I love my dear brothers and sisters. I miss my able. I miss my spiritual children. I miss my spiritual father and mother. I really love them. That's why I'm going to the Sunday service to attend. Not my duty, not to give the tithing. Longing heart. The church that shows new life being reborn and resurrected and revived. And then all members, this is an internal, external goal of prayer and Jeongseong. All members, everybody, breakthrough to the spiritual children. For that, you need to pray. You need to Jeongseong. Breakthrough of Sunday worship attendance. Mother said, need to show. Dr. Yong, you are the one first need to show. That's why I really determined to show first 1,200 people attendance in Clifton Church. So detailed goal by August this year, 600 people. By December, about 900 people. 2023 next year, early April, 1,200 people. There are not so many churches, more than 1,000 membership, congregation. So first, I'd like to walk and break through this goal with working with the brothers and sisters, centering on our incredible Jeongseong. Construction of the U.S. headquarters church, I really want to build really beautiful headquarters. U.S. headquarters with your effort and my effort. As long as we increase membership, God definitely give us power and wisdom until December 2026. My brothers and sisters, really putting our Jeongseong, to really showing church in Clifton Church was the most important thing to do. There is Jeongseong. 아주? Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Yong, for the precious words, definition. Bye, Dr. Yong. All right. I don't know about you, but I got a little hot during that sermon. We have to raise the temperature, right? To get up to par. But I think the most important is it has to come from within your heart. Sincerity can't be forced, can't be externally, right? Coming about just because external situation changes, but it really starts with me, with my sincerity that God knows in my heart. So we now have a short reflection. So you can talk with your person next to you, and I think we do that anyhow. So we can share our own reflections. What is the takeaway from this sermon for you personally? So we'll take 5. Yes, hello. Do you want to talk to me? All right, brothers and sisters, we are going into our closing song. So you're welcome to stand, and the offering basket will be passed around for the offering. And you also can make an offering online, of course.
Okay, so for our final song, if you'd like to stand up, and again, clapping along would be much appreciated. So this song, as Dr. Yong said, through sincere devotion, we can make a connection with God, or unity with God even. And so this song, it's kind of about unity. And as we sing, we can imagine this is God singing to us. So it's Stand By Me. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, now, stand by me. Oh, stand by me, stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, now, stand by me. Oh, stand by me, stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, now, stand by me, stand by me, stand by me, stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, now, stand by me, stand by me, stand by me, stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, now, stand by me, stand by me, stand by me, stand by me. Ooh.
パスタnow Kim is supposed to give the benediction prayer, but they quickly to move to the KA church, so I have to do this. So, okay. Thank you. I really appreciate. Wow, I see more and more people coming. Yeah, so I hope more people coming. It's not because our church is a headquarter church, but because we wanna see my brothers and sisters, and I feel God's love when I hear. Then I wanna really become the filial sons and daughters, return the joy to God. To return the joy to God is our mission statement of Clifton Family Church. So we wanna do that, but by loving each other. That is the purpose of the creation. And also, most sincere devotion move God's heart. I really love that word. And I realized God's time is much, much faster than my time. So, his time is much faster. So now I remember through Father, Reverend Father Moon said, one day like 1,000 years. Yeah, so we really we have to use our time wisely, and we need to more prepare our plan every day. Anyway, thank you, brothers and sisters. Please join me in prayer. Be most loved heavenly parents, true parents. We all here together. When we met Unification Church, we all thinking we want to change the world. We're not thinking I want to get the higher position in this church, or I want to get more salary, make money in this church. Nobody is thinking like that when they join our Unification Church. Just thinking how I can change this world, better world, how I can change myself to better person. That was most, I believe, and myself was my motivation to join to this movement. Then I thought we can do it. Now, the time, God, I really appreciate, truly appreciate you give us such an opportunity, chance to realize when we start our journey very beginning with Unification Church. So we continue to have such motivation, and we like to accomplish our dream, heavenly parent dream and true parent dream together. This offering is all our brothers and sisters' sincere devotion. So please accept this offering, heavenly parents, and please bless all of the congregation here today. I pray, report this in my name, Atsushi Takino and Namiko Takino, Blessed Central Family. Adieu.
Sorry, I almost forgot. I have to close, right? All right, thank you so much, brothers and sisters. Have a wonderful Sunday, blessed week. We'll see you next week. And I don't know, there's refreshments downstairs, I believe. There must be refreshments downstairs, as usual. Okay.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, now, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry. No, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, now, stand by me. Oh, stand by me, stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, now, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me, stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, now, stand by me. Stand now, stand by me. 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 Stand by me.